U.S. Army,
Oh,
1985 to 1988.
what was your MOS?
I was a medic. Back then it was a 91 Alpha. I think they've changed it now. I was in a Patriot Missile Battalion.
Did you do like a tour of duty or whatever?
I was in Germany. It was called West Germany back then.
Oh,
So it wasn't strictly speaking combat related, but we were on the, front lines, although there wasn't actual warfare going on. One of the things that we had to do was be very careful about Soviet agents or whatever that were. I mean, we were only like 100 kilometers from the East German border, and so we had to be mindful of and be careful about. I had a security. I didn't know much about the actual secret stuff, but well, like how the missile worked, the launcher, and all this stuff. But yeah, so I didn't really know much, but still, because I had a clearance, if we had to be worried about, making friends over there.
Oh.
And then one thing that did happen, I'll share this story with you if you don't mind. I'm sharing it with everybody else too, I guess. But I was only about 3 weeks from getting out from ending my service over there to come back here and out process. And we were out in the field the last time I was going to the field. So we had our base, and then we would take the missile launchers out and set them up as if we were going to be live, and just to practice that. We'd practice that every few weeks or whatever.
Missile launchers.
Yeah, Patriot missiles. They intercept fighter jets, and in some cases they can intercept rockets.
MRAD?
I don't know exactly what an MRAD is, but it's a Patriot missile.
Oh.
So they're on these launchers that are like on the bed of a semi, sort of, and then when you get on site, you put these legs out to stabilize it, and they tilt it up, and then it's ready to fire. So and because I was a medic, I was on. I was driving the ambulance, and we're coming back from the field, and the launchers are in front of us, and then we're behind it, and then we're going through the German countryside, these narrow roads, and then one of the brakes, the very back brakes on the trailer of the missile launcher failed. So the truck's going down the hill, and the launcher starts coming out from behind it, because the front can brake, but the back can't. So it starts sliding out behind it, and then it catches in the shoulder and flips over like 3 times down into this kind of ravine, a little valley. So you're like, oh crap, right? So we go down there, and the driver's hurt, looks like a broken collarbone or something, and the guy that was riding shotgun had a big gash in his back, right by his shoulder blade. So my partner put them in we bandaged them up a little bit, put them in the ambulance, and took them to post, because we weren't that far away. But so I'm sitting there with this wreckage, and our colonel comes back, and it's twisted to the point where like the casing had opened, and you could see the inside of the rocket. It's like, I don't know exactly what I'm looking at, but there's like a big piece of like what looked like concrete. It was actually like the nose cone, and there's some other stuff in there, and I don't know what's going on. We're just kind of looking at it like, what's going on? Well, then our colonel came and said, or lieutenant colonel, battalion commander came and said, be careful, everyone. We're not sure if that's armed. So we're like, what do you mean? And basically, not to get too nerdy, but the Patriot missile works like this. The Patriot isn't just a name. It's an acronym, and it stands for Phased Array Tracking Radar Interface on Target. So there's 2 important pieces to this. Number one, it doesn't arm itself until there's acceleration. So when it gets fired, the acceleration of it arming from the propellant is what arms it. So that's one. So they don't know for sure that spinning around like this a couple of times and then rolling down the hill is going to arm it or not. They don't know that for sure. And the other part is the way it's guided is the radar interface sees the enemy aircraft or missile or whatever, and it has radar in the missile. And then when they get close enough together, it detonates. It's not like it hits it and then it blows up.
Yeah.
It detonates it when it's close. So there's very specific frequencies that radar and stuff happens on, and we know we're not going to use it. But
I'm listening to this gentleman.
But
sorry, can you continue?
Yes. But okay, so we don't know if there's starting to be a couple of news helicopters, because we're in the middle of Germany. Well, we're in West Germany. There's cities all around. So a couple of helicopters up, wondering, like, they're reporting on this wreckage with the U.S. Army in the countryside, and so they're like just looking. So we don't know what frequencies anyone's using, or maybe even the Soviets know something and want to blow up. We don't know. We just don't know. It's not likely, but it's possible. So then there's only like 3 or 4 of us there. So the military, and they probably still use it, these camouflage nets that are like nets, and they've got like all these fake leaves on them, and they reflect radar on them. So Colonel's like, well, you guys got to get up there and pull this camouflage net over the top of this this wreckage. He didn't use those words, but so that if there is radar or any signal coming in, it will get plus so the helicopters won't see it. So here I am, 3 weeks from getting out of the Army in late June of 1998, standing on top of, it's unlikely, but it's possible, this thing is armed, a Patriot missile that can blow up, I don't know, half the countryside. And I'm pulling net over it so that other people can't see it. Luckily, nothing happened. It was all fine. But that was the most harrowing thing that happened to me when I served.